Okay, now it's being recorded. Everybody is being recorded. But again, so what I was saying is that we're going to spend the class, or at least part of the class, in things that are not sound oriented, but they are useful for doing interactive applications, right? That allow us to do different kind of audio experience, audio platforms, audio things, right? It's going to be hard to have an application that do not have a GUI, a graphical user interface. Therefore, in order to make an audio application, it's highly probable that we are going to end it up with some kind of graphics. So in order to do that, I'm going to share you my screen and use application web server. I think it's this one. Yes. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm trying to log in into the SAPA in order to register my class, but the server is down. Okay, never mind. So the first thing that I want you to do, guys, is to go to the processing JS online. Okay, so if you can go to no open processing. Okay, if you don't mind, could you please go to this page that is called open processing, if you don't mind. Okay, open processing will be something like that, and I think I'm already okay. I'm gonna log in. However, no, I cannot. Hugo SG at yeah, that's it. Okay. Could you please log in? And I think you will have to create an account. So if you don't mind, please create an account on the open processing account. I'm going to share you the link. Okay. While you create your account, okay, open processing, it's JavaScript engine for graphics that is derived from another huge community that is called processing. I just want to know if any of you have ever worked with processing or hear about it.
No, teacher.
No, teacher.
No, teacher.
Not at all. Anybody? Raise your hand if you know about processing. Okay. Okay. It's okay. It's kind of not it's kind of the super collider for graphics. Let's say it in that way. You know, super collider is a programming language for audio synthesis and processing, and processing it's a programming language for doing graphics. It's been running for over 10 or 15 years. It's a high broad community and a huge amount of schools at universities teach it, teach with this infrastructure. And basically, it's a piece of software. You have to download it, and then you have to run it, and then you write code. But you write code in something that is similar to Java, okay? That is similar to Java. It was so spread in the communities that after the years, somebody decided to do a translation to create the similar logic in in JavaScript. That's why it's called GS. Okay, it's called JavaScript. Then somebody else create um, this server where you can code what you want to do directly on the browser. Okay, so I'm gonna create a new browser. Okay, I'm just gonna create a sketch. Okay, as you can see it. Yeah, just let me know if you cannot see this. Okay, and that's it. So I have a piece of code. Again, let me know if you don't see it in the proper size, but I bet that you can see it. Uh,
Teacher.
can you see it well, the size of the text?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
teacher.
So basically, okay, as any programming language, you have a set of functions, okay? So two important functions in this programming language are the following, is the setup function, right? And the draw function. These two are very important for this programming language. And then you have a set of predefined functions that does what they can do some set of things in terms of graphics. Okay, so the this function that is here happens only once when the browser starts to populate that window, and then the draw function tends to happen about 20 times per second or more. It depends of your hardware, it depends of your graphical card, but it happens to be rendered really fast because theoretically it's trying to do animations. Okay, the first thing that we are doing here is saying, please create a canvas, like a place for painting, okay, of the window size in width and the window size in height. Therefore, this is a environmental variable, and this is an environmental variable that are already predefined. Background is a function that will put a color as the background, okay? And in the same format that we did the other day about the hexadecimal code and the way for writing colors. Do you remember, right? And then we have another function here that is doing, please draw a circle at the position mouse X, at the position mouse Y. These are also environmental variables that are updated according to the position of the mouse of a diameter of 20 and 20. Yes, do you follow that? So if I run this code, okay, what I'm gonna have, okay, is this canvas, gray canvas, where I can draw a circle, okay, where I can draw a circle on each point where my mouse is located. Yes. If I go back to this situation, if I go back to the code, I run back this. So I'm gonna do a couple of changes here. Okay. If you have any question, please let me know. But what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna move, okay, the draw, and I'm gonna put it inside the draw. My function background now is gonna be inside the draw. Therefore, my entire screen will be rendered on each new frame, on each new animation frame. And now I do have only one circle, the circle where my mouse is located at that moment. I go back to my code, and if you see, I can change the size, and now it's gonna be 60 by 60. But I'm gonna say that my color, okay, my color will be fill. Fill is a function. And then I'm gonna fill this color with RGB, R, G, and B, okay? If I run it again, now I have one circle, okay? One circle that is red, okay? As you can see this, okay? You see this, as simple as that. Now, what happened if instead of following my mouse, I do the following. I will create a global variable that is gonna be location X. It's gonna be equal to 0. And then my position in Y, in the horizontal, it's going to be equal to the window, it's going to be equal to the height, okay, over 2. And my mouse X is going to be replaced to the location X, but on each location X, I'm going to say that location X, it's equal to location X plus 0.1. And then I run this code. As you can see now, the circle is moving, okay? It's moving along, it's moving automatically by itself. As you can see, the circle is moving automatically. Can anybody tell me what should I do in order to make this circle move faster?
Increase the 0.1.
Exactly, I'm going to increase the 0.5, let's say to 0.5, and then I have a circle that is moving a little bit faster, right? Actually, I'm going to change it. This is being very slow because I'm sending my videos through Zoom, and this slow my entire hardware, but probably for you who are not sharing the screen on Zoom, the 0.5 is going to be actually really high, and your thing will move very fast. Okay?
I have a question.
Yes?
So before what triggered the circle was the mouse, right? When we moved the mouse, circle was appearing. Now exactly what is triggering the movement of the circle?
Okay, now, before we have mouse X and mouse Y, right? And then it was pretty obvious. The circle is painted where my mouse is located at that moment, right? Now what we are doing is saying the height, the place where we want it in top bottom location will be determined by the, okay, that is something that I have to say. First parameter is position in X, position in Y, right? And size in X, size in Y, okay? These are 4 parameters. How do I know that? If I go to my dictionary and then I go to my reference, right? And I go here for the different shapes that I can draw. These are the different shapes that I can draw, at least the primitive values that I can draw. And then I know that I can draw an ellipse or a circle or a line or a point or a quad or a rectangle, square, or a triangle. If I go to my ellipse, now I'm in the reference of the sleep mode. And as you can see, it's telling you, okay, the description is going to be drawing a circle, blah, 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 which is the syntax. The syntax should be this one or this one, okay? Which are the different parameters that I have to use? Well, pretty simple. The first parameter, which is belong to this, is the coordinate in the X. The Y is the coordinate in the, this is in the horizontal, this is in the vertical, the number of pixels in the width, and the number of pixels in the height, okay? Yes, as simple as that. Do you follow that? So if I go back to my sketch, I can also change this, okay? I can also change this and says I want it in pixel number 300 and 600. So if I put it here, now it's in 300 here, 300 here, 300 pixels are here, right? And from here to here are 600 pixels. Just be aware that this is coordinate 0, 0, okay? And the Y goes down. The coordinate of the Y goes down, okay? Diana, do you have a question?
Yes, I have. It said,
Yes.
I don't really understand what is a P5. What is P5GS?
Oh, P5 is a library for graphics for JavaScript, okay?
Okay, it's like CSS, but for Java?
No, because CSS is not a programming language. CSS is a description for doing graphics directly on HTML. And this is a library. It's a middleware. It's a set of functions that somebody else wrote in order for making graphics easier to develop. Okay, it's like the web. You see, did you do the homework?
Yeah.
Okay, do you understand that the Web Audio API is a set of libraries for doing sound engine on the browser?
Yes.
Well,
It's the
P5
same?
is the same, but for graphics.
Okay. I got
It's
it.
a set of functions for doing graphics. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Any other question around, guys?
No, teacher.
No, teacher.
Okay. Now, so if I have a question for you guys, by the way, if I go back to my code, okay, and then I remove this, and then I run this in a little bit faster mode. I'm gonna do this at 3, okay? And I run it. My circle is gonna start to move. But eventually, okay, this circle will be in a place where the value of the variable is bigger than the size of the window. And then the circle is gone. What should I do in order to make the circle appear again here?
Restart the variable.
Pardon me?
With an if?
Okay.
Restart.
With what?
An if?
Yeah, Diana, are you talking? Yes, or who?
Yeah, yes, I am.
Okay, yeah. Diana is right, it's an if, but somebody else said something else.
Yeah, me restart the variable.
Oh, restart the variable. Well, what do you, I guess that, yes, restart the variable, but okay, when do you have to restart the variable?
Exactly, with the if, no, right? If
Exactly.
it's bigger
So
than this number, yeah.
if, okay, exactly, if location X is bigger than what?
The window.
I don't know,
White.
white.
Exactly.
Window width.
Window width. Then what should I do?
Log X equals 0.
Exactly. Location X equal 0. And then if I run this, okay. When this circle reaches the end, it will start to go to this location. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Yes?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, now, when, for example, and now I'm just playing a little bit, okay? I will do something else, okay? Each time, okay, I will do the following. What I want to do is a small video game or audio visual experience. If anybody of you have an idea about a proposal for doing something, we can try to do it, okay? We can try to do your idea. For now, the only thing that I want to do, okay, is create a graphics with a circle that is moving automatically, okay, and that is bouncing, okay, that will be bouncing, pop, 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 bouncing, okay, and on each hit, when the bouncing happens, a sound will be triggered, okay? The sound will be triggered, and we are gonna divide all these sections. We are gonna divide all these sections, and this will be C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. This is gonna be an octave, right? And this one will be the same. So when the little ball bounce here, it's gonna be dun. And then let's say that here we have F, do, re, mi, fa, do, fa. And then it's gonna hit here. And then let's say this is A. So it's do, fa, la, do, fa, re, mi, fa, sol, la, do, fa, la, do, for example. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
teacher.
Can you do that? If I tell you, please do that in an hour, would you be able to do? Raise your hand if you know that you can do that. with the knowledge that you have at this point in code, in coding things, in graphics, that you know where you should go in the reference, and that you can do it. Do you have the intuition? Do you know that you can do this? No?
I don't think I can do this yet.
Okay. I just want to be sure that I'm not spending your time with things that you already know. Oh, there's one person that says Diego Hernandez. He knows that he can do it.
Maybe yes, but it will take me more than an hour.
Okay.
Yeah, equal. Maybe it could take me like 5 weeks or
5
more.
weeks. Oh, come on. Okay, that's good. Okay.
Yeah.
So first of all, this is the most amazing Netflix series that you will ever see. Okay. Now, but you have to pay a lot of attention, and you have to stop me if you feel that you are starting to get lost with the things that are happening here. Okay. So the first thing that I'm going to do is that instead of having location X, I'm going to have location X, and then I also going to have location Y equals 0. Okay. Instead of starting in a specific location 0 and 0, I'm going to modify the location X to be a random number, okay, between 0, okay, between 0 and window width, okay, and window width, okay, window width minus the size of the ellipse. Okay, so I'm going to create another variable because since it's going to be a constant, okay, I'm going to call it size ellipse, okay, and this is going to be of size 20. So this is going to be equal to window width minus, okay, minus size over the slip. And the same is going to happen with the location Y, but instead of having this, it's going to be window high, okay? And in the same way that we're going to be here, location X at the same time, this is going to change, and it's going to be location X, and this is going to be location Y, okay? Location Y is going to be equal to location Y, okay? If location Y is window high, okay? Location Y, it's going to be 0. You understand what I did? I just duplicate the logic of the previous example, but now we have a random position for the beginning, and then we have 2 sections for the if. When it is exceeding the horizontal, it's going to go back, and the vertical is going to go back. Do you understand what I'm doing? So it's starting.
Don't you need to change something?
Oh,
on the ellipse, the height divided by 2 by location 1.
Could you?
On the ellipse.
This is something that I was forgetting on the if location Y. Oh, window width, window high, location X, location Y. No, it's fine. This is.
I mean, in the parentheses of ellipse, in where it says height divided by 2.
Oh, here?
It needs to say location Y, no?
Exactly, location Y. Thanks for letting me know that mistake. So I run this, and then this circle is starting to move. However, it's moving really slow, okay? It's moving really slow for me, but I guess not for you. By the way, I'm gonna save this code, okay? And then I'm gonna call it this, my music interface, okay? And then this music interface, anybody can see it, okay? And anybody can comment. So I'm gonna submit it, okay? And now if I have this sketch and I copy to you guys and I put it on the chat, you will have access directly to this code, okay? So you must, in the chat, I just put the code that we have at the moment, okay? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
could you tell me any solution? Because now I'm going to change this. I'm going to change also this to be a speed, okay? I'm going to create a speed. For now, it's just going to be a speed for all of them. and this is going to be 5 pixels. And instead of increasing this for 1.1, I'm going to increase this for a speed. Okay, I'm going to change this for a speed. So if I run this, okay, whoop, this is moving, and then this little thing is moving, and as soon as it reach the end, it will go to one location. What can I do in order to make this, instead of going back when it arrives to this point, it change the direction? How can you change the direction? How can I do that? How can I do a change that in order to...
If log x and log y it's equal to 1 or equal to 0? Equal to 0?
Yes.
We could multiply it by -1.
Exactly. We can multiply this by -1. But which one? Because if we multiply both situations by -1, we are going to be in the problem that both directions will change. So that makes us says speed x, and then we also need speed y equal to 5. Okay, now we have 2 speeds. So in order to do this, we are going to change the speed. Okay, should we change the speed? Yes, we need to change the speed. The speed is going to be equal to speed times -1. Does that make sense?
Yes, it
So
does.
could you repeat it again, please, teacher?
Absolutely. Okay, so okay, so what I want to do, let me do this, is that we have the rectangle, okay? And at this point, we have something that is a little ball that is starting to move. And when it reaches this location, right, we have an if the location of x is bigger than this position, right, then blah, 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 then the location will be, again, 0. That means when the ball is here, right, the next situation will be bigger. So the location is bigger, the if gonna happen, and we were resetting the variable to be 0, and then we place the circle again here, right?
Right.
So what we want to change that behavior. So we want the ball to bounce. Basically, we want it to bounce. So it's gonna go here. And when it reaches this location, we want it to bounce and then go back, okay? So we need to change the direction. At some points, the ball will be increasing the variable, tuk, 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 tuk. But in other situations, the ball will be going to the other direction. Going to the other direction implies that you have to subtract instead of adding the values, right? So at some points you are adding the speed. Can you see we have here the plus? The location will be equal to the location plus the speed, right? But in some cases you want to do the location minus the speed. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, what can we do? Basically changing the sign of the speed. So if the sign of the speed is a negative number, this will be plus a negative number will be the same that having a minus. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so when the location is bigger than window width, the speed is gonna be equal to the speed multiplied by -1. And the same is gonna happen, right? The same is gonna happen with the speed of y. And that's why we needed 2 different variables. one for the X and one for the Y. If this is correct, now we do, oh, we have a set of, oh, I have a mistake. And here is telling, oh, sorry. Here is telling, it's telling that you have, okay, that you have speed is not defined, okay? If my speed is not defined, that's because I forgot to change the speed X here and the speed Y here, right? So if I run this again, I speed.
You missed.
You put the speed.
Speed.
Yes.
That's it. And then, oh, how? Wow, where is the speed not defined? I don't see it. Speed X, speed Y. Oh, here is, why do I have this? Oh, this is wrong. This shouldn't be here. Okay. This is my different cases. Okay, that's it. Okay. Now let's see if I don't have any other typo. It's coming and then it's bouncing. Can you see that? Can you see that? It bounced 2 times. However, look at this. Bye-bye. It's gone. Okay. Can anybody tell me why is the ball gone?
Because it's not in a cycle.
Well, no, the cycle is already here. If you're talking about the cycle for drawing, by the way, it's a function that is happening over and over and over. Okay.
You need to put an or, no? If the log is bigger than or small than, something like that.
Okay, you are getting it. You are getting there. So if then you okay, that's it. If we have a ball, we have already the case of the if, right? When we reach bigger than, right? Because here we have, if it's bigger than this position, we are going to change the symbol. So we're starting positive. When it is bigger than this position, we change the value to be negative. And now the speed is negative. Therefore, we are subtracting values, subtracting. So what are we missing?
A limit.
The smaller than, no?
The more is already here. More than this amount, it's already happening. Oh, well, yeah. I mean, remember that this is from 0 and then the values increase to the lower. It's not a coordinate
If
system.
it's minus to 0, needs to do the same thing, right?
Okay, and in the same in the Y when the value is minor to this, right? So exactly, that's what we need to do. We only have when it is bigger than the window width and bigger than the window height. But we need also to do this when or, we need an or. How can I type an or in Java? With 2 pipes. Or location X, right, is smaller than 0, right? And the same here. Or location Y is smaller than 0. Does that make sense?
Yes, teacher.
If anybody of you have questions or is getting behind, don't forget to ask me. My duty here is to explain things. So if you have a question with the or, for example, or you have a question with the minus, or even if you have questions with the brackets, I don't know, whatever that you have any question, please let me know. Okay, so
Teacher,
yes.
A question.
how can you write the or? With which key letters?
It depends on which computer do you have. I have it in the 1. On my PC computer, I have it as Alt 1.
Okay.
But some of you may have it near to the Enter, and usually you need it with the Alt.
It is the same in Mac. It is option 1.
Okay. Yes. Did everybody manage to put it? Let me go for my Mac computer just to see the keyboard because I don't know it by heart. Exactly, it's but it's command one, right? No, Alt one. You have to type Alt one on the Mac computer.
Teacher, I have another question.
Yes.
Why do we define speed x and y as 5? Why 5?
Oh, I just placed that number because if you type 5, probably in your computer is gonna move really fast. I put it as 5 because I want to move the ball a little bit on each frame. This is happening on your computers every time or even more per second. Okay. So if I don't want to move it really fast, can anybody of you manage to run this code? I'm gonna save it again. Could you reload this? Could you reopen the link that I just sent you?
Yes, teacher.
Could you tell me what happened when you have a speed equal to 5?
It's actually not moving that fast.
It's not moving that
normal.
fast?
Moving like good. I don't know.
It's faster.
It's faster, but not like I can see the ball very well.
Okay, that's weird. Maybe that's because we are opening Zoom. Let me stop sharing and see what happened with my computer when I do that. Okay. No, yeah, you're right. It's not moving. It's moving. Okay, it's moving. I'm gonna share it again. It's moving. Music interface. Share. That's it. Yeah, it definitely changed the speed, but not a lot. So the answer is because on each new animation drawing, or maybe, do you understand that this is happening on each frame? Who asked the question?
Me, Fernanda.
Fernanda, do you understand that this thing that is inside this loop between line 13, this bracket, and this curly bracket, we have a function that says draw, okay? This thing will be called every 20 times per second. That's the frames per second, FPS, okay? So on each new frame, I'm
Why 20 FPS?
Oh, well, that's an average. It depends of your computer.
Okay.
If you have a humongous graphic card, it could go to 60. Okay. Yes, does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so why did I decide to move it to do 5? Because if I put a lower value, then I'm gonna be moving it only 1 pixel on each new animation frame. And then it's moving extremely slow, and we're gonna spend a lot of time waiting for the ball to hit the ball, the location, right? And if I do 20, it's gonna be extremely fast, and then maybe it's too much. Yes. So does this? Oh, whoa! Now it's moving really fast. Is this answering your question, Fernanda?
Yes, and actually, I have like another question.
Yes.
It's well, it has to be with this. Why we need speed X and speed Y?
Good question.
That's something that I don't really understand why.
Okay, let me go here. Okay, we are saying that the ball starts in one random location. Okay.
Yes.
And then it's gonna start to move to one particular location. Okay. When the ball reaches this position, this means at this location that the X, the vector just remember the vectors in your high school. The movement of the ball can be seen as a magnitude on the x and also a magnitude on the y, right? At some point, both of them start to be positive, and that's why this ball is moving 5 pixels more to the x and 5 pixels more to the y, and now it's here. Next frame, 5 pixels plus, 5 pixel plus. Next, 5 and 5. Next, 5 and 5. But at some point, it's gonna reach the border in the vertical line, and we say that at that moment, we want to change the direction. So now the vector of x should be negative because the ball should start to go to the other location, right? In reverse, let's say that. Yes. But the y, we don't want the y to change because we want to mimic the bouncing. So now the x is negative, but the y, okay, the y is still moving. Sorry, the y is negative. I apologize. The y is now negative. That's why now it's moving towards this direction. But the x is still moving towards here, towards the right. So the ball is moving with negative y, but plus positive x. When we bounce this position, right, we want the ball to bounce towards here. During this period of the movement, we have direction of the x negative and direction of the y, of the y negative and of the x, right, is -2. So we have negative values on the x, negative values on the y. And when we bounce here, could you tell me what symbol do we have on the x and which symbol do we have on the y when we are moving towards this direction?
I think the x is negative and y it's positive.
X is negative, right? Because we're moving from right to left, right? But y is what? You said it's negative?
Yeah, because it's going down.
Oh, again, maybe I forgot to tell you that, or I didn't explain it well, but be careful. The y is opposite to the coordinate system. It starts in 0 and end up increasing towards here. Okay?
Oh, so it's positive.
It's positive.
Yeah.
Can you repeat that idea, please?
Yes. The locations, I'm gonna clean this, okay? I hope that oh, what are you watching, by the way? Grace, you don't see my browser anymore, do you?
No,
No.
I see
Do you see
your
what I have
drawings.
here? Do you see that I'm drawing?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you see that I'm drawing here? On the
No.
left? No? What about here? No?
Nope.
What about here?
No.
What
No.
about here?
No.
Yes. There.
So basically we have something like this. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna clean because I don't have space. Okay. So my coordinates in pretty much any graphical programming language is very weird. We grow in the school and people we learn that coordinate systems grow from 0 to positive, right? To 100. And then we go in a graphical, any kind of diagram from 0 to positive, right?
Teacher, we just see like the half of the x.
Apologize. So We learn at the school that this is 0 and then we increase, right? And on the Y, we also increase, right? That's the way we know that a coordinate system happens in a specific thing. Yes?
I got a doubt, Professor.
Let me explain something. Let me finish the idea. On a graphical system, the X coordinates start in 0 and they keep going, but the Y is backwards. So we start in 0 at the top and then we start to increase towards the bottom. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, teacher.
Okay. So keep that
That's
in
why
mind.
we put 0, right?
That's why we put 0 where?
In with the or.
And well, no, not only because this happens when we hit the top and this happens when we hit the bottom. This thing that we have here, oh, sorry. This thing happens when we hit the bottom. No, this is, sorry, this is left. This is when this is the case when we hit the left, no, the right.
Yeah, the right.
And this is when we hit the left. Okay. Could you tell me why this thing when happens?
When it's in the bottom.
Exactly, when this is the bottom, and this
The top.
In the top.
when this is the top. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So now that we have, okay, does that make sense for who asked about the why do we have two speeds? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So now we have a fancy ball that is bouncing. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes sense.
Now, what we want to do here is divide this in how many octaves do you want to have here? One, two, three. How many?
One octave, 7.
Just one.
Only one?
Yeah, one.
Do you want it chromatic or diatonic?
Diatonic.
Diatonic. Okay. So we have to divide. We have to divide these in how many steps?
12.
Well, if it's diatonic.
Oh, 7.
Okay, but we want the octave. At least we want to be this C,
Okay,
and then we want to be this C. So we need to divide it
8.
in 8. Excellent. So if we want to divide it in 8, we want to divide this in 8. Each time that we hit here something, okay, I'm going to write here console.log. Yes, hit it. Each time that here, or actually play note. Let's going to put here play a sound, okay? And the same is going to happen here. Console.log. When it hits this location, we want to also play a sound. So if I run this again, and then I open this, play a sound, play a sound. Can you see? Pop, pop, pop. I'm curious. Oh, something is not good here. Okay. As you can see, I don't know if you can see it or not. I'm going to refresh this. Okay. I'm going to refresh this again. Can you see the little text that is happening below?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to play it again. And then can you see that each time that the ball is hit, the number is jumping, but not for one, but it's jumping many times? 46 to 48 is jumping a lot. Okay. It's jumping too much.
I don't understand. What do you mean by jumping?
Okay, let me explain. Each time that the ball hits the wall, we want to play a sound. So before going to the sound part, before starting to code the sound situations, right? I'm just playing or want to write in the console that at that moment we're going to play a sound. Okay? I don't know if you see it, but in this little part we have the console. Okay? Yes, can you see it?
Yes, we can.
So when
Yes.
the ball hits here, we should get play a sound. This 7 times, can you see this 7 times something?
70 times.
Yes, teacher.
That happens because if the console has the same text or the same information, instead of putting it again in a new line, okay, it's gonna print it. Actually, let me see if I type here println, if we will be able to see it in another way. Println. If I run it again, no, we don't have println on the JavaScript version. So theoretically, when the ball hits here once, we should have one play a sound, then it bounce, and then we have second time that we say play a ball. Then we hit here, and then this is the third time that we play the ball. And then fourth time that we play a sound, so on and so on, okay? However, when I run this, and you cannot see this very easily because probably Zoom is not refreshing the screen so often. So you don't see it if you do it on your computer. I'm gonna save this version. If you refresh it on your computer and you open the sketch that we have on the chat, yes, if I play it, let me clean this. I don't know how to clean it, but I will clean it in this way. And I play it. Look, 2, 6, 8, 10, 12, 16, 18. Okay. 34. It's bouncing because we are bouncing twice. Okay. This situation triggers one play, and these situations trigger a second play sound. Okay?
Yes.
Okay.
So we will have to fix this in some way because we have to hit it only once. When we bounce here, we play a sound, but we are triggering this twice. Once because the location of X change, and one because the location of Y change. And also because, no, it's not only that, the situation, it's because we are increasing over 20. So let's do a couple of things. First of all, it's not window width, because if we do that, the position of the center is the thing that is detected. This thing is detected. This situation happens when the location of X. However, when we draw the location X and location Y are defined as the center of the circle. So when you run it, this is not bouncing nicely as if the end of the window would be the wall, but it is bouncing when we are in the center of the circle. How can we fix that?
It could be like window width minus half of the diameter, I mean the radius.
Exactly, minus
10.
So instead of having these values here, what about is this size of the ellipse? This variable is going to be here. This variable is going to be here. And then this is going to be size ellipse over 2, right? And this is gonna be size ellipse over 2. Not 0, but size ellipse. And then
Teacher, why it is over 2?
Because we want the radius, not the diameter.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
And then the same is gonna be size ellipse over 2. However, we have a mistake. Oh, window size minus size ellipse over 2. And now you should remember from your previous programming classes that we have a problem here. Could you tell me why we are generating a mistake here?
Because of the order of the operations.
I'm so happy that you know all of this. Sometimes I have to go back to all these things in other courses, but yes, because the minus is less important than the division, we need, how can we solve this? With parentheses, right?
Right.
Okay, so if we run this, probably now we have the ball bouncing in a proper way. However, I'm gonna do a couple of things. I'm gonna decrease the speed because with that speed, we cannot see that. And I'm gonna increase for now the size of the ball to be 60, okay. Okay, another mistake. Look what happened here. We have a bug, right? If the circle appears in this location, okay? If the circle appears in this location, then it gets stuck. Now it's bouncing on the wall, but each time that it bounces, it counts twice. It bounced the X. Why is it bouncing twice? It's not because it's the X and the Y. Something is happening that each time that it bounces, right? It counts 2 times the jumping. Can you tell me why? I'm gonna comment this just to see this situation on the X. Look how, what happened here? Why? Okay. 2 times, 4 times, 6. Each time that it bounces twice. It counts this twice. Why?
It's counting the X bouncing as well as the J bouncing.
No, that was my hypothesis, my initial hypothesis, but because I comment this line. Okay.
Maybe if you put the instruction of console.log before the change of speed.
I don't think, okay, let's try to do that. I changed this to here. I comment only once so we can check it. And then again, I run it. Oh, we have to fix this, by the way. Okay. But no, it's still jumping 4 times. So why is this happening? Because if the ball is created in a position lower than 60, then this if is gonna be immediately trigger, right? And then we're gonna change the speed, but the speed is gonna be changing again. So we need at least to be sure that this is not gonna be from 0. The location, the initial location, by the way, I'm gonna remove this 0 from here, and I'm gonna remove this 0 from here. And then this location, instead of being from 0 to window size minus the lip, this is gonna be window size and window size. By the way, you may be wondering, what is the random doing? Random generates a random number between this value and this value, between lower value and higher value. That's why we have 2 parameters. And now this thing is happening here. But again, still, we are going from 2 to 2, okay? And we need to fix that situation soon. We need to fix that situation soon. And one way to solve that is that we need to move the ellipse a little bit when the bouncing happens, okay? So in addition to multiply the speed, probably we want to add, okay? Let me try to see if this could fix the situation, okay? Let me see if this could fix the situation, right? Just when this happens, I'm gonna move, no, but it still is gonna happen, okay. I'm gonna move the location X. The location X is gonna be plus, we are gonna add the speed X for now. Location 1, oh, equals, it's equal to location X plus speed X. And the same we're going to do here. It's not going to be very elegant for the moment, but I just want to be sure that this could fix the location Y plus the speed Y. Then we run this. Six and 8, it didn't fix it. Let me see something. No, location X minus location X minus. No, it's the opposite. So location X plus the speed, location X plus the ellipse size. Let me see something. I just want to see what happens if I do this. It's gonna jump ugly. Oh, where is it? Location X is gonna be location X minus the ellipse size, and then location X minus the ellipse size. Okay, no, this is not working. We need to find a solution for fixing that. If anybody has an idea, would be appreciated. For now, just keep it like that. We are going to spend time a little bit later on this, but for now, we keep it like this, okay? So we have a small graphical situation that is jumping. Now we need to detect what we were saying before. If it bounces here, these will play C and D and E and F and G and so on. How can I detect G? And then when it bounces here, it's gonna be C. How can I do that? Anybody with an idea about how can we do that? G.
With another E, depending on the position.
Okay, you are getting there, but it's gonna be very nasty to do if it's between 0 and 100, and then if it's between 100 and 200, and then if it's between 200 and 300, and then if it's between 300 and 400. If you do that, which is a good idea, by the way, okay? If we do that, okay, then you will need to do something like between here, you will have to do if location X is bigger, right? That's what you are saying, bigger than 0, right? And location X, it's lower, right? It's lower than 100, then, right? Here we have the play C. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah.
Does anybody understanding this situation? And then we have, if it's bigger than 100 and location X is lower than 200, then play D, right? And we keep moving. Nasty pero seguro, dice Mafer, yes. But imagine that then we want to do the piano and we want to play 88 notes. Then you will have to do 88 of these ones. Right? And these start to be bad when you start to solve things, because we say 1 octave. But if we want 88 keyboards, you will have to do something like this. And if you do something like this in my class, you are in troubles. Okay? Any other idea? Any other? Do you understand first, by the way, do you understand
When-
this solution? Please raise your hand if you don't understand the solution that Mafer suggested.
No, it wasn't me, teacher.
Oh, that was who?
Me, Diana.
Diana. Raise your hand if you don't understand the solution that Diana was suggesting. I have the feeling that I may going too fast, but if you don't tell me, I will keep this speed, okay? From the people that raised the hand, are you sure that you are understanding all the code that we have so far in this screen? Speak now.
Yes.
I think yes.
Yes, or just no?
I think yes, but this solution, I don't really understand it.
Okay, so I really cross my fingers that you are completely understanding the code that we are having here. Basically, we are setting up a set of variables. Then we have two functions. Then we understand that this function that happens here is something that we use for the setup, right? This is just, and by the way, I can write comments. This function is called only once at the beginning. Do you write beginning like this? Of the program live, okay? Then we know that this function works as a loop, okay? And happens really fast. Let's say 20 frames per second. Okay. Now, okay, right? This is self-explicative. We create a window of the size of our browser screen. We set up the color. Okay, this is important. Set the color of the inside of all the objects to be draw. Okay, to be drawn. Should I write drawn or draw? Should be draw. I think it's draw. Okay, and then this sets a random location of ball at the beginning of, I don't know if I have to, if I have a typo or not, of the code. Okay, the same here happens here. Okay, same here. Now set the color of the background at RGB. Oh, well, actually not. If I just have one parameter, are you still here, guys? Are you still paying attention? Not Facebook, not Twitter? Yes? Yoo-hoo!
Yes. Yes, teacher.
Yes.
Good. So if I go back here and then I say 225, my background will be white, completely white. If I go here to 0, my background will be completely black. So what does that mean? If I have only one parameter inside my background, then it's treated as grayscale. 0 being black, 127 being gray, middle gray, okay? And 2. But if I change this to be 3 parameters, 0, 250, and 0, then it's treated as an RGB code, okay? So it depends the amount of parameters then the function is treated in a different way. So let's say that we want the background to be gray. We can go through this version, okay? How can I know that? Because my reference is my dictionary. If I say background here, I go here, it's gonna tell you. You can either type one parameter, you can either type 3 colors, you can even type it in another configuration of colors, you can even type it by colors of the CSS palette, you can type it as an hexadecimal code, you can type it as an hexadecimal code of 6 digits, you can write a string, you can write an RGB with alpha, and you can write it as a percentage, or so on and so on, okay? The one that we decided to use was the simple crawler here, okay? So let's say that we can put this here. I want you to have an example that you can.
Teacher, sorry, what is the other page that you look?
The other page is the reference. 5GS. Let me write you the reference of P5.
Thanks.
I'm typing it here. Witiwaka. It's in the chat. Okay. Now it's in the chat.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, could you let me know if you are watching this code on your, if you open this link, you do have access to the code on your computers, right?
Yes, but you just need to be like updating it.
Yeah, I have. This is not an automatically updating, but I just updated, by the way.
Okay.
So if you refresh that page, then you will have the new version. Okay. Okay, so then we have this thing where we are increasing. This is increasing, or actually updating location based on speed. And all the location is checking if it is heated. Do you write heated, heat? I don't remember. Is it a heat? Checking if it is heat on the left and yes, right. And right. And then here, checking if it's heat in the top, bottom. Okay. Okay, this was just a small overview. And then what Fernanda, I think, was saying is that we want to know in which position of the horizontal. For now, just focus on the horizontal situation. So we have, we want to divide the screen, let's say in 4 situations, right? So when the ball hits this location, no matter if it's hit or here or here or here, we want to play a C sound. If it's here or here or here or here or here, it's a somebody just access. Is anybody in the waiting room? No. Okay. If it's hit here or here or here or here, we want, this is C, D, E. If it's hit here, we have the E, and then this is an F, right? No matter, in all this section, we want to hear a, and then if it hit here, we want a GG, right? So when the ball hits here, we have dun, 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 dun. Sorry for my solfeo, how do you say? But that's it, the case. Do you understand what we are trying to achieve, right?
Yes.
So Fernanda said, well, let's do this. If the location X is between, it's smaller, no, it's bigger than 0, and only and location X, it's smaller than How can we know this position? How can we know this section? From 0 to what? Where are we located here? If this is our full screen, and we want to divide this in 8 parts.
window width divided by 5?
By, well, it depends on, we decided 8, no?
Oh, yeah.
Window width divided by 8, exactly. Then, in this situation, we know that we are hitting, right? Play Z, play, oh, we know that we have to play AC, right? Now, how can I do for the next section from this to here, from here to here? All these possible sections. What should I do? Otherwise, what?
Bigger than 1?
Than 1? No, remember, these are pixels. So if these are pixels, this is value 0. Oh, whoa. This is value 0. Here we have the 0. And here we have window width. We don't know the number. We don't know the actual pixel size, because that's going to change according to the size of my browser. But it's window. Let's say it's 1020. Let's say it's 1020. Let's say that. Okay. So we know. We know that from here we are going from 0 to window width over 8. But now we want to get this section from here to here.
It could be window width over 8 to
2 times, right?
Window width between
2 times window.
So if location X, it's bigger than window width over 8, and location X is bigger than what?
Window width divided by 4.
Oh, yes. Okay, but that's window A divided by 2 times 2, right?
yes.
Yeah.
Which this is equal to divided times 4, right?
Right.
Good. Now, what else? What's next? Well, this was C, and this was D, right? But we're gonna lose our job if we continue with that, because it's taking this. We are making a code that is extremely rigid. Now, this is divided times 4, and then the next section. Could you tell me the next section? Bigger than 4. Now we are on this section. From here to this section. Now we want.
Divided by 2?
This is window 2 divided by 2, and then bigger than window divided by. Actually, we can just simple do this, right?
Yeah.
And then actually we can do this one is over 2 divided by 2. No? It's more logic. I think this has a little bit more of logic. No?
Yes.
Because this is actually times 1. No?
Yes.
And actually this was window divided times 0, because times 0 is going to be 0.
Why didn't you say that this code is like very rigid and we will lose our jobs?
Okay. Okay. You will see it in a second. Now, can we continue with this, right? Now we are almost done. Yes, the day is going to be over, but okay, so we have the else if, and then we can move on with the next one, right? You see that now this is 4, this is 5, this is 6, this is 7. No, this is by 3, and this is by 4, and this is by 5, and this is by 6, and this is by 7. Oh, 1, 2, and this is by 3, and this is by 4, and this is by 5, and this is by 6. And then this is C, D, E, F, G, A, and Z, right? Yes, does that make sense? I think yes. Then we remove this else because we don't need it anymore. And if we run this code, actually, let's see what happened in our consoles. And somebody of you mentioned that before, right?
Yes, teacher, yes.
You should speak loud, the window height here, but then it's not the location X. In addition to the location X, what is what we really need to compare? This is not going to solve the situation. Because what is what we have to compare with the window height?
Location J.
Location J. When we are in the left side of the location X, we need to analyze the high and low of the location Y, okay? Otherwise, we're always gonna be in 0, and that's why we are always getting the C, okay? And now we have here B, C, E, G, and so on, and A, and so on. Does that make sense? Now it makes sense.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, the location Y is the one that we have to analyze. And then somebody, it seems that somebody knew it already, right? Who is speaking? Diana or Mafe?
Diana.
Diana, she's the hero, the MVP.
Diana, I apologize. Probably I didn't understand when you were describing this.
Sorry, teacher.
No, I apologize, me to you. But now the point is this one. Imagine that we want to do with this with 88 keys. What is going to happen here?
We lose our jobs.
Yeah, well, somebody said that we already lost them. But anyway, now, is there a better way for doing this? Is there a better way for doing this?
Probably.
Okay, anybody with an idea? About how to generalize this situation. How can we generalize this situation? Because as we now know, okay, if instead of dividing this in 8 because we have a diatonic, we want to divide it in 88 because we want to do a full piano, we would need to do this divided by 88, right? By 88. And then we need to increase this amount of code, right? By a huge amount of more than this, right? Instead of having this, we are going to have to do a bunch of things, right? Is there a better way for doing this?
I don't know, teacher. Can we do it with an array?
You don't need an array.
Okay.
We will need to do the following, okay? What happened, okay? Okay, what happened if we... Okay, let's put it in this way. We have a line, okay? All this section is a 0. All this section between here and here is a 1. All this section is a 2. All this section is a 3. And all this section is a 4. Okay?
Okay.
Now, if a number happens to be, what do you need to do? If the number, okay, this, if we end up with 2.2, what do you do in order to convert 2.2 to become 2?
Power?
Subtract 0.2.
Lo redondeas, no sé cómo se dice en
Okay,
inglés.
that's good. What? Okay, we are getting there. So no matter what, no matter if it's 2.001 or 2.9999, right? Both situations will end up as SI2, right?
Right.
If we have 1.00000 and 1.99999, right? We end up with a 1. So basically, we are doing something to the number, which in this case is rounding, right? In order to have like all these ranges end up here. So that's the first step. No?
But teacher, if you round 1.99, isn't it 2?
It depends of what do you decide to do in the computer, but if you truncate it,
Yeah, yes,
the real
that's better.
numbers truncate, okay?
Sí, lo truncamos.
It will become
Yes.
Now, what happens? What do you need to do in order to, if these are the real outputs, 1, 2, 3, and 4, okay? And you have any number between 0 and let's say 10. Okay? So what do you need to do? If a 0 happens to be 0, then 5 will be in between. 5 will be in between, right? 5 will end up in 1. 5 will end up to become a 2, right? And a number, I don't know, and a number 9, we end up as a number 3. What do you need to do? And 0.1 will end up to become a 0. What mathematical operations do we need to do?
Sorry, Professor, I don't understand. What
Porcentajes?
Okay, let's do it again. We have two different ranges, right? We have the range of our notes, of our musical notes, right? So we have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C, right? These things that are here are actually numbers. We can think about them as numbers. These being 0, these being 1, these being 2, these being 3, these being 4, these being 5, these being 6, and these being 7. Who asked the question? Who said that is not understanding?
Me.
Okay.
Emerson.
The thing that I explained, does that make sense to you right now?
Yes.
Okay, now these things that tends to be numbers, okay, they should be correlated to amount of pixels. These being 0 and these being n, where n is the window width, right? Let's for now assume that this thing is, I don't know, this is 1,000. Okay.
We cannot see what you are writing.
Oh, can you see here?
No.
Here?
We can see until the 6B, like that part.
Until the 7?
6.
Can you see here? So here we have 1,000. Let's say that this number, it's 1,000.
We can see like from 0 to 6.
Oh, from 0 to 6. Okay. One more time. We have a screen, right?
Yes.
Our screen, we want to divide it in 8 parts. Where this is for the notes, right? C, D, E, F, G, A, B. Oh, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and C. Okay?
Yeah.
Forget about this part. Okay? We can think this as position in numbers. This is a 0, a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, and 6, and a 7, right?
Right.
And these are correlated to pixels. This is pixel 0. And let's say for now that this is pixel, I don't know, pixel 1000. Okay?
Okay.
So if 1000 is a 7 and a 0 is a 0, what is the number 500?
Four.
It's a 4. And the 250?
2.
Okay, what are we doing? What are we doing mathematically speaking?
Like a relation?
Okay, and could you explain me the code for doing that correlation?
Can we make it with percentages?
We don't think so. One thing that we knew is that the first example that we were doing is how can we, oh, you don't see here. Can you see here?
Yeah.
The other thing that we were doing is if it's at 0.5 becomes a 0. If it's 1.999 becomes a 1. And if it's 2.5 becomes a 2. We know how to do this, right? How can we do this?
With integers?
With integers. Basically, if you have a float and a float you convert it to an integer, you truncate truncating a float, right?
Right.
Okay,
Yes.
so this is one part of the puzzle. If we use truncation, we can convert a floating number and remove, right? And removing the parts on the decimal section. Well, that is one part. And then we need this other part. We need to convert a range that is going between 0 and 1000 to something that goes between 0 and a 7. Because for us humans, the number here is important, the letter. But for the computer, what we really want is a number that we are going to convert into a MIDI something and the MIDI something into a frequency, right? So what can we do? What should we do? It's very simple. It's straightforward. It's very simple. No, any idea?
It's a razón. No, I don't know how to say it in English. No, it's like a fraction, something like that. Or no?
An equation?
No, more simple. High school. No,
Regla
elementary.
de tres.
Yes, right? So we need to just basically doing rule of 3, right? So if the width, if the 1000, right? 1000 it's a 7.
We cannot see what you're writing.
Oh. 1000 or 1000 is a 7. What our position is a I don't know what. So basically we need to multiply, X is our location X, and 1000 it's our window width, right?
Right.
So our location, and this is the amount of nodes that we want, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So location X multiplied by amount of nodes that we want divided by the amount of pixels in our window. It's gonna give us a number like 3.3. And then this float number is truncated, and then we end up with a number like 3. Okay?
Yes.
So let's start to do this. So in our code, we're gonna go a variable. I'm gonna go here and then amount of nodes, amount nodes. How many nodes do we want?
7.
8, said, right? Because it's the octave plus is the entire set of nodes. It's 8, right? So here, what do we need to do? We have to get, and then we have to get something like the variable node. It's gonna be equal to what? To our location, y. Don't forget, in this case is our y, right? Location y times what? Amount of nodes divided by what?
Window width.
Window width.
No, window
Height.
window height, right? Our window height, but this is gonna give us, let's multiply amount of nodes. Let's multiply amount of nodes by 0.0. So we know that this multiplication becomes a floating point number, and then this is a floating point division, and then we need to truncate this. How can we truncate a float in JavaScript?
You put like int and parentheses.
Truncate float in JavaScript. Let's go. Oh, it seems there is a trunk. Look, it seems that there is some operatic that is mathematical trunk. Okay. So if we do math trunk, the location times the amount of node and Windows height, right? And then we just put here console log play sound plus node, okay? And then now that we have this, we can do the same thing, but now with the other logic that was happening here. So if when we are analyzing our X, now we need to do our X. In the situation of the top and bottom, we need to analyze our location in X, right?
Right.
On window width. And if we are right, we go here, then we have a set of numbers here. And this is a rounded, the index of our node, right?
Yes.
Yes, does that make sense? Absolutely.
Yes,
and if we decide to do these 3 octaves, we just need to do this. Okay. And now we have half an hour for making the sounds. Now we have half an hour for producing the sounds. Okay. Which probably are going to be very simple because you did the assignment. So I'm going to keep this open. I'm going to open my glitch. Do you remember that we have this glitch.com?
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm going to go to a new project. Well, I don't know if I need to go to my project or I need to go to my web audio tech or audio syntech. Okay, I'm going to try to go to a new project. Okay. It's a hello page. Okay. This little guy is going to be called audio game. Okay. Audio game. Whoa. Audio game tech. Okay. I think that's it. Audio game tech. Whoop. Enter. And that's it. Okay. Audio game tech. I'm going to share it with you guys. I'm going to share the code. Okay. The code is being copied here. Okay. Yes. Are you following what we are doing?
Yes.
Okay. Now I want to go to my previous examples here. So I'm gonna also go to my glitch.com, because on my glitch.com, I have the audio syntech. No, do you remember what is the one, your very own basic web audio tech? Which is
I
the
think
one?
it's the first one, the Audio Syntech 01.
This one? Is this the one that we have with a style and then the bottom minimum? Oh, and the slider and things like that? Yes, this is the one, right? And then we have the script, and then we have the style, and then that's it. Yeah, okay. Well, let's move on because we are running out of time. I'm going to the new one, okay? On my new one, I'm gonna keep my style CSS. I don't care about it. And then I'm gonna go to my script, and then I'm gonna go to my HTML. On my HTML, I'm gonna say bye-bye to my button and my glitch and my PH and my body. Bye-bye, everybody, okay? Yes, bye-bye. And then in my style sheet, I don't care about my style sheet. And then I do care about my script. Be careful with this. What I'm gonna do here, okay? What I'm gonna do here with my P5 is that I will go to here, and then we need the P5GS. And then this is the files. How can we download this code easily in the most basic situation? Let me think. How is the fastest way to do this situation? Okay, let's do this. P5GS. I'm gonna go P5.gs. Okay, and this is the P5GS, and then these are my reference that we have here. And then I want to download my P5. So I need a place where we can do okay, here we have it. Using the hosted version of the P5GS library, okay? If we copy this, okay, if we copy this section that we have here, a sample page might look like this. Okay, I'm gonna copy this here, okay? And then I will go to my index here, and then in addition to this, I will, no, it's not this one, it's the one that we have here, is this one. Copy, and then I'm gonna copy that one here. Basically what I'm doing, okay, here guys, basically what I'm doing is saying to my code that is an empty code, right? I'm gonna import my library for doing graphics, okay? Simple as that. Then we go to the getting start, and then we have the script, okay? And then don't forget about the previous one. Forget for now about the previous one. The only thing that I'm going to the new code is removing a couple of things and then adding this script. Then I will go to this script, right? And in this script, I'm gonna copy the code that I have here, okay? I'm copying the code that is here, okay? And if I run this, let's cross our fingers, I have the ball on the web page, okay? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Now we need to make sound, okay? If I actually open here, I have here play sound 10, play sound 12, playtime 13, 9, 8, 16, 6, and so on. Yes?
Yes.
Now let's make the sound. Let's make this playing a sound. We are gonna mix both situations. So we need to go back to our small We don't need this anymore. We don't need this anymore. I guess we don't need anymore. We do need this one for a little bit, and that's it. Now I want to open the audio one, the one that we have here. It's the audio synth, right? I open this. This makes sounds, right? This is making sound. As far as I remember, this one is one piece of code that is making sound in our JavaScript. Okay, so instead of having a button here and a slider and so on, instead of doing here, we are going to start with an audio context. Okay, so I need my variable audio context. I know that I'm running a little bit, but it's here, right? So we need the things about the audio context. Okay, we need the section about starting the audio context, right? Starting the audio context, which is doing this here. In my setup, once that I set up, I start the audio context. Okay, I start the audio context. I go back here to see if we don't have any problem. No problems at all. Okay, now that we have the audio context, I go to my audio thing, and then we need to connect a set of things here. But we are going to do a couple of things that are different. Each time that I connect, I'm going to do these connections about my little sound, connect and destination. This little part that we have here, okay? These little parts that we have here are our sound. So each time that we play a sound, be careful with this. Each time that I play a sound, I'm gonna call play a sound with my note as parameter. Do you follow? Are you following what am I doing?
No, I got lost in this part.
Okay, and then I'm writing a function, which is play a sound, okay? That has as an input a note. And then here we are gonna say, I'm removing the sections that I have here. Just give me 1 second. I just want to be sure that everything is working, okay? And then I go back here to here, and play a sound is not defined. Function play a sound.
The line tail thing, the S mine, it's not.
The function
No.
Capital
first,
letter.
right?
Maybe note isn't defined.
No, the sound, the phrase play a sound, the S of sound is capital letter, and then before it.
Okay, here, play a sound, right?
Yeah.
Play a sound, play a sound, play a sound. Okay, that's it. And that's it. It's playing the sound. Okay, we have a function that is playing a sound, and inside the playing a sound, we are playing this little sign and then this little volume here. Inside my play a sound, in addition to play a sound, we are gonna do this, but we're gonna say that our variable, it's this one, and this is local. And one thing that we are gonna do, in addition to playing this sound, is that we are gonna disconnect this audio context, our little sound, my little sound is starting, and then here my little sound is stopping, dot stop, and we have to stop this at, I guess we have that in how many seconds later? Stop sound plus, I don't know, 100 of 0.1 milliseconds. Now, it's working, okay? Okay, this is working. We have, that we are going. Sorry for running. I will explain this in detail in the coming 10 minutes, okay? So what are we doing? First of all, okay, The only thing that is missing is the frequency. Actually, the frequency that is this is 440. This should not be 440, but should be the node plus something. So we need the function that you did for the math. Do you remember that you did a function that it's converting? Can somebody send me the function that is converting MIDI to FREC? Can somebody has access, a quick access to the function MIDI to FREC? MIDI to FREC, which is receiving a note and then is returning, right? The note over something times something times something. Nobody here? Quickly, fast, easy, no. Function, no.
Is it that one, teacher, on the chat?
Let me see, this is 440. Yeah, it's this one. Excellent. It's this one. Okay. It's this one. Return the 2 to the power of the node minus 69 over 2 times 440. So inside here, I will be calling MIDI to FREC, okay? MIDI to FREC of node, but node, if it's 0, it's going to be really low, times, I don't know, 69, okay? Can you hear what is happening here?
Yes.
Okay, it's working. It's working. So let's resume what is happening here. Okay, this part is being recorded because if you need to go back to your video, probably everything is here. Okay, so what did we do first? The first thing that we do is checking that there is a new thing that we are going to work with a couple of classes, which is called openprocessing.org, that allow us to write code and check the code on the fly, right, of different graphical situations. Okay, you could probably add the audio here. However, we want to see it in another place. Then we go through all the little details about how to write a small visual exercise, just a small visual exercise, right? Where we can bounce a little ball and getting the location in the boundaries of that. Once that we have that, this piece of code, then we went back to our glitch code. And in our glitch code, we did a couple of things. We import the graphical library. You don't need to import the web audio API because that's already part of the browsers, but you do need to import, okay, the graphical engine. And the way to do it is basically saying we are going to use a script that is called P5GS. Once that you import that, then inside your script, you can use the function and the draw, knowing that the draw will generate a graphical thing and the canvas will generate something with that. We need to remove the borders in a few seconds, but then that is working, right? Then we copy the graphical thing that we did to here. In addition to that, I went back to my audio synth that we did in previous classes, and then we decide to create a variable for our audio context, and we trigger or we initialize the audio context inside our function setup because we know that this function happens only once, right? We don't care about these detections because glitch is going to tell us that this is not defined. It is not true. It is defined in the other script. And then we can do all of this. But therefore, we copy and paste all the graphical part. But we start to include audio situations. We include our audio context, and then we did a couple of things. In the places where we have the sections that we know happens when we click the borders, when we know that that happens, we are calling a function that we define, that is play a sound. Is this function called play a sound that is getting as an input, and this is important, we are getting our note based on the little thing that we did, the rule of 3 and the truncation. Remember, as a trick for getting the notes. So we are truncating the location of the amount of nodes divided by the window size. This was explained in a previous part of the class. But at the end, we get a number that is defining the location in our borders, right? These being 0, 1, 2, 3, or the X amount of nodes that we decide to have. That number is sent as an input to the play a sound. That means that that number is the input of the function. And the input of the function, what is the function doing? Well, the function is actually setting up an oscillator, setting up a volume, setting up a kind of synth, and this is important, setting up a specific frequency. How are we getting the frequency? Well, we are getting the node that was coming from the node. Basically, the numbers are happening. This enters to this function, right? And this value happens to be this number plus 69, because our math here is giving us a number between 0 and 8. That would be too low in the MIDI frequency. Therefore, we just add 69 to make it a middle range. And that is triggered as a MIDI effect. That means that that comes to here. And then we end up with a frequency, with a function that you did in one of the assignments. The frequency is therefore inputting here. We have here the frequency, okay? And the frequency, we set up a volume. We start our generator, but we did something new that probably you learned on the tutorial of the Web Audio API, which is we stop the sound, right? We stop the sound in the future. This is the present plus just 1/10 of a second, okay? And then we have something that is completely working, that is fully working, that is this graphics plus audio, okay? Plus a small behavior about doing the hitting when we are bouncing. And this thing is working on the browser. Did you get it?
Actually, yes.
Well, we should be very happy with that. And now I'm going to do something with the borders, because if we go back here, we have an ugly border, right? So let's remove the borders. In order to remove the borders, we probably, the best thing to do is just getting, where do we have that? We already have an example where we are removing the borders of our codes. Can anybody remember CSS remove border of page, right? Remove bordering of top of a page in the CSS. I think it's margin and padding of everything. Yes, I think it's margin and padding of everything. So we just go here and then probably right to everything margin 0, padding 0. So in our CSS, we say margin 0. No, that is not removing the margin of our native things here. Close this here and then remove it. Margin and padding. We will check that in a second. Because we want this guy to be fully oriented towards here, and that is not happening. Okay, let's check that in a second. Before that, any other question?
No, teacher.
Are you sure?
No,
Well,
teacher.
well, just kind of a question. It's again not working on Safari. If I go to Chrome, it's working again, but in Safari, it's not working. Just like,
If in Safari is not working.
Yeah, I mean, it bounces and everything, but it doesn't have sound.
It doesn't have sound. Oh no, it's not this one. It's do you remember that we have the same problem the other day in the
In which page are you? So just click the page. It doesn't.
Oh.
Can you check what is Safari telling you when you in the developer tools, please?
Actually, in the console, it's not telling me any mistake. I don't know why it's not sounding.
Okay, it's okay. If you want to stay after the class, we can check that. Safari is not following the entire setup. Is the other assignment working? Is the previous the one that is which one? The other one that we have here, the audio web example that we did?
Yeah, I'm gonna check and compare the audio units. I don't know if there's something missing.
How many people is using Safari?
I think just me.
Who says tampoco? Gustavo? Emerson, Gustavo and Emerson. Who's speaking about the thing?
Me, Emerson.
Oh, Emerson. And Gustavo?
Yes, sorry.
Are you working with Safari too?
No, I meant that if you click on the web page, you must hear what is sounding.
Okay. Yes, that happened the other day when we are having the audio context on the start. Can you try to put the start with a time? Can you do this? Could you refresh and check if now it's working, please?
Yes, I'm checking that. No, it's not working.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, actually, I'm using your code.
This code and it's not working in Safari. Oh, I know what the problem is. Gain value is this one. Set value. Who stayed with me last class fixing this?
Actually, me indeed. Again.
Do you remember I did not fix this on the set value. Is this is value 0.1 on the current time. Could you check it again?
Now the ball stopped.
Pardon me?
The ball stopped.
The ball start?
It stopped. Like it's not bouncing. Let me check
Oh,
again.
give me a
Yes,
second.
it's not bouncing.
Yeah, it's here. It's not set value is not a function. It's not set value at time. Either we remove this or set value at time. Can you try it?
Now it's working.
Okay, now, yes, Safari is more picky about the function here. Okay, now, it's kind of nice. This is kind of nice. We are getting into something that could be interesting, okay? We are getting into something that is interesting, but there are a couple of things that could be nicer. First of all, the sound do not have an envelope. Without an envelope, the sound is kind of boring, right? We don't have a nice, so we can hear a glitch. How can we fix that glitch? Oh, well, by the way, first of all, this is chromatic, and we say that we want this to be diatonic, right?
Yes.
Which, how can we fix that? How can we fix that, by the way, guys? Because yes, we can hear it, but it's not chromatic. Any idea?
No, teacher.
It doesn't exist a command or a line where you can change this. For example, I don't know, if this is chromatic and I don't know, you can select a major or minor, I don't know.
There is a library that we will learn in the future, but for now, I want you to do it by hand. One very simple way for doing basically is to say diatonic. How do you say diatonic with the diatonic? Yes, diatonic. And we are gonna make here is 0, 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11, okay? And 11. These are the actual index, right? Of the scale. Here are the actual numbers. So we need to convert our note, the one that we have here, this note that we have here. Now this amount of 2, this actually is 1 octave, right? Otherwise we will need to multiply this a couple of times. But for now, I'll just keep it like this. So the amount of notes is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, right? Diatonic will be this scale. Therefore, can you, if I give you that hint, what else do you need to know to do? Because then this is gonna give us a number between 0 and 7. Note is a number between 0 and 7. So what should we do?
With an array, introducing into the array.
The array is already here. So we need the diatonic index of this. And the note is the same, diatonic index of this, right? Now we are using the number that is being generated here between 0 and 8 to become the index of diatonic, then we'll convert into something between 0 and 12. So what happened now if I increase a little bit the speed and then I go back here? This is now diatonic, okay? But it still is kind of boring. It still is kind of not very nice. One thing that I don't like is the envelope, okay? So, assignment, okay? Assignment for the next class. First of all, check here how to do an envelope, okay? I'm gonna write here to do. Write an envelope for the sound, okay? And then another little detail that could be really tricky. How can we make this with 3 bouncing balls or more, an X amount of balls? Is there some easy way for doing this as a collection of balls?
Maybe it could be like with the variable of the octaves that you just multiplied it for the number of octaves you wanted to. It could be the same for the ball.
No, you will need to create an array of everything. Everything here will become arrays, which is not simple. So if you, I think Antonio said that he was allowed, or somebody of you raised the hand saying that you could do this assignment by yourself. If you feel that this is simple, if you understand this without any detail, and you have in the tip of your tongues the notion of arrays, and you can extend, can I join? I don't know. Give me a second. You can try to do this with a bunch of arrays, with a bunch of balls. So you will have many of these balls bouncing at the same time. Okay? But the first thing that I want you to do is this making more original for you. Okay? So write an envelope for the sound, first thing, and another to do. Do some modifications to the code in order to make it more sound attractive. Okay, what can you do? Well, you can change the envelope, you can change the type of sound, you can change the speed, you can customize a little bit. Maybe you can change a little bit the speed become different, the speed of the X and the speed of the Y. You can play a little bit with the colors, and so on. What do you think? Yeah.
What do you mean by we can play with the colors? Like literally.
You can change the color of the background, and you can change the color of the ellipse.
Okay. Yeah.
For example, where we have the color red, that is very simple. No. You can increase the amount of octaves, or for example, that could be a little bit tricky, but could be nice if it hits. Oh, that could be nice if it hits in the top, the sinusoidal. Okay, it's a sinusoidal. But if it's in the left, then it's a square. It's a saw. If it's in the right, it's a triangular. It's a triangular waveform. And then what do we have? Saw, triangular, sinusoidal, and that's it, right? And a square. Do you understand what I'm saying? How can you do that? Well, then you will need to split this if into 2 sections, because now it's not the same to be in the top than to be in the right. And then probably you want to send this with a second parameter about the type. Do you understand what I'm saying? Actually, I think that should be a mandatory thing. First, write an envelope for the sound. And then pay attention to this, because this could be a little bit tricky to do. Okay? Change the shape. Actually, this should be here. Although here, okay, you will need to split this into 2 sections, because now at this point you have the left and right on the same situation, right? So you will need to do a split split the cases left and right. Okay, here you will have to do split the cases top bottom. Because you do that, you will need to modify the function. Okay, add second parameter for the left, right, top, bottom, probably as a numeric flag. Okay, what do I'm saying with that? That now you should be calling this as play as sound note and then number about location. Okay, so probably you will be calling this now like play a sound note, where 0 is top, 0, 1, 2, and 3. Top, bottom. For example, you don't care about the numbers, you decide the numbers left and right. If that is the case, then this change, and then here use second parameter of function to define kind of sound. Okay, and then this is what you have to do. So what do you need to do for the next class? First of all, understand everything that is happening in this code. Okay, second thing that you have to do is modify the section that is here in such a way that you split the cases left, right, and top, bottom. That will allow you to call the function play a sound with a new parameter, and you will use that parameter for defining if this is sine or square, right? Sine, square, so, or triangular. Okay, and that will just make you hear the sound a little bit different. And in addition, okay, so in addition, do any kind of modification that you want. Okay, and big challenge. This is a big challenge. Big challenge. How do you write challenge?
With double L.
With double L, teacher.
Challenge like this.
Yeah.
This is multiple balls. Okay. This goes here. That's it. What do you think about this?
The assignment is like very hard.
And long to do.
Be careful. Be very careful. This thing that is here is very simple. You just need to, in the same way that you have to go and check on the Web Audio API how to make an envelope. It's one line of code, one line for the attack and one line for the decay. So doing this, be careful. These are 2 lines of code. Okay. This is 2 lines of code. Okay.
But teacher, that would be 2 lines of code for the entire code, or 2 lines of code for the part where you said that you wanted a sine and a saw and a square.
Now let me give you a thing. So just those. Okay, the first thing that is the envelope. Okay, in the envelope part. Okay, here the envelope, 2 lines of code. If not, you are on the right path, okay? Here in the side, okay? It's a if case for the 4 numbers, okay? Just if location is equal 0, then this is a sign. If it's a 1, it's a square. If it's a 2, if it's a 3, it's a triangle. Just an if here. Very simple. Okay?
Okay.
The modification, just 1 word and a comma. Okay? What else are we talking about? Oh, and splitting this, split the cases is actually, let me give you a hint. Let me give you a hint. Or actually, if you want me, I can help you with this. This was one case, okay? And then this was the other case, okay? I just split it, okay? Because now we have 2 cases, the top and the sound, right? Therefore, this will be the 0 and this will be the 1. You can see this as a hint for the assignment. I won't keep it like this, but if you go to the video, you will see what I did. Tick. And then let's remove it. You can go back to the video and I already did half of the assignment for you. I just did half of the assignment of you. Okay, I see that. No. Okay, guys, try to do it. Please try to do it. Don't sweat it. Don't sweat on. Okay, it's extremely simple to do. If you get stuck, you can work with your friends. Okay. If you get stuck, you can ask me. Okay. But don't suffer. I just want you to do. It's like going to the gym. Okay. It hurts, but it's a process, a constant process. Don't suffer, buddies. Don't suffer. It's not needed. Suffer is not required. Okay. Maybe the problem is that I'm running too fast to explain the assignment, but as you will see, it's kind of simple. Okay. It's kind of simple. What it's really, really, really hard is doing the many balls. If you are not familiar with the arrays and all the notions of the arrays. And one more time, you feel that the class is going too fast, you just have to tell me we need to go slower. Can I go to sleep? Absolutely. Everybody go to sleep. See you next class. See the last part of the video. And bye-bye.
Thank you, teacher.
See you, professor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Teacher, thank you.
We'll keep in touch, teacher. Thank you.
See you.
Teacher.
Yes.
Actually, I have a question. I have some troubles with my homework, so maybe the next week before the next class, do you have any time for a tutoring session?
Absolutely. Do you have a class before? No.
Before this one, yes.
Oh, you mean before the class? When do you want it? The same Thursday or the one day before? When do you want it?
I don't know. It could be any day. Monday, Tuesday. It depends on you when you are free.
No, I think I have some times available. So in the mornings, in the evenings, Monday 12, Monday noon, maybe.
I also have many troubles, and I don't know if I can join this session with you.
Yes.
Yeah,
What about
accept it.
Monday at noon?
Wait.
I have class at 1 at 13. It's Monday. No, Monday I'm free. Actually, I'm
No,
free. Yes.
I have class at that time.
Tuesday noon?
I have class too.
Okay, Monday, Monday.
11 maybe? 11 a.m.
If you want to, yeah, that's fine.
You, David, are you
Yeah,
free
perfect.
at 11?
Monday 11. Yes.
Oh, sorry. 11, no, 11:30, maybe it's too short, right?
Yes.
Monday
Maybe.
10?
Yeah.
Yes, Monday 10.
Monday 10, okay. It's already agended. Monday, the 8th at 10 a.m.
And in this same session, isn't it?
Yes, in this same session.
Okay. Well, thanks,
And
teacher. See you on Monday.
see you Monday.
Bye. Bye, David.
Bye.
Descansa, Fer. Teacher, I'm really worried about this class. It was really hard for me to make the homework and not getting any result. And I don't know, it's like I don't know what to do in order to get better, and because it's the easy part, I think so, and then it will get harder, right? And it's like I don't know, maybe I don't know if it's too fast or I'm not getting it, but I think that I really understand what is going on with the code, like today's class. But then at homework, it's like I don't know what happened, and I feel worried